Hey, greetings and welcome to Conversations to Thrive. My name is Vasi. I'm the founder of the Thrive community. It's where Conversations to Thrive lives. And here we get together to talk about topics, habits, and ideas that support us in upgrading our health and wellness and living our best lives. And today I'm really excited to have here with us Vincenzo Fanfarillo. I know him from Paonia. I've seen him in the health food store in Paonia, and he's always super friendly. And he's a personal trainer who helps a lot of people in the community to build muscle and to stay strong as they get older. And now he started an herbal business, which he'll probably talk about today. And he's going to talk to us about healing the nervous system in our crazy, fast-paced world. So I'll turn it over to you, Vincenzo. You can share more about yourself and your topic.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm so grateful for being here and so grateful for you holding this space and all you're doing in the world as well. I think that we live in a time where natural health and healing and just coming back to those natural ways is more important than ever. And I believe that with the right steps, the right protocols, the right practices we put in our lifestyle every day, that, we can really do that in this modern world. So yeah, I'm so grateful for you. I've been in Paonia for about 2.5 years, but I've been into fitness and health for a long time. Really, my journey started briefly. I'll just describe it. I was about 15 years old, and I grew up on the East Coast, and I don't know if you're aware of the deer tick, but I contracted Lyme's disease, and so I was about 15, and I just remember being so tired. Like I had joint pain, I had chronic fatigue, and I went to college and went to an art school to study digital media production. And I started to meet all these people, and I started to actually just learn about more natural ways of living and get into healthier lifestyles and habits. And it started to slowly shift and change my life completely. I started to feel energy again. I had clarity. I was able to just feel alive after, when you're young, you're supposed to feel good, right? And I wasn't. So it all started kind of slowly to switching to more really whole foods. I started to go to local farmers markets. I joined a co-op, a food co-op, which was a real gem in the city of Philadelphia. I was getting organic local produce. I was learning about it. So anyway, that changed my life, shifted. Fast forward today, I'm 39. I'll be 40 this year. And I've been on that journey since then, since my early 20s. And I've learned so much and had to make changes through the years and got my personal training certification when I was 31. And so I've been doing that for the last 7 years or so, doing personal training. And I got into herbs when I got to Colorado because I also was living with a couple herbalists, women who were going to herb school. So I was really fascinated. I was always into teas. You could see all the herbs behind me. I love teas. I remember as a kid, as a child, my mom giving me sleepy time, before bed, and just such a lovely tea. And she drank tea every day. And then I started to get into my own stuff, green tea, and then started to kind of feel out the herbs, which worked for me. So anyway, fast forward to today. I'm here in Paonia. I started my botanical business about 2 years ago, and I've been personal training for 7 years. And I also do some farming. I work at the health food store. So I'm kind of dabbling in that whole lifestyle of healthy living. And so, today's topic I think is really important is healing the nervous system, healing the nervous system in a noisy world, the silent saboteurs and solutions that we can actually come forward with. Easy things, every day. So I think it's important. I'm here to help people. I want to help people. I feel that it's part of my mission here on earth just to keep people healthy like you're doing. I think that's a beautiful thing to keep people aligned with health and feel their best. Because we have so much, right? We have the resources, we have everything we need, but we also have a lot of distractions. So we have to be able to stay aligned with that. At any point in this conversation, if you guys want to jump in, if you have a question, if just want to give some feedback, I'm totally open to that and grateful for that. So, do you have any questions thus far?
Do you grow your own herbs, or where do you get the herbs from?
That's a great question. And I was just talking to Vasi about that. Hi, Phil. I was just talking to Vasi about that. So, part of my dream, when I started this botanical business, I got this dream from another person who they have their own botanical business. They grow herbs, they make CBD oil. Last year, I was able to move on, and you can't really see it unless I turn the computer, but I live on a small farm, 3 acres. I have an irrigation pond with natural irrigation water. I have a greenhouse. So it came with this house. So, in the long story short, I am growing herbs this year for my tea blends, which I'm so happy and grateful for. This is one of my favorite herbs here. This is holy basil or tulsi. It's part of the mint family, basil family, and it is an incredible ally for our health. You know, you get the leaves, you can eat it fresh like this. You can also most likely what you do is you're going to dry it into a tea, and you can blend it with other herbs, but it's really great for the nervous system. It's an adaptogenic, so it helps with stress, it helps with energy. What's up, Phil? So yeah, welcome. We're kind of just starting. We're just getting into the conversation about healing the nervous system and different ways to do that in the modern world. So she was just asking me about herbs and kind of how I got started. So anyway, yeah. So I'm growing tulsi. I'm growing another one which I love. Let me see if it's called calendula, and that
Uh, Calendula, yeah.
you've heard.
Um, I heard about, but holy basil, I know it's Indian herb, so it grows well in Colorado.
That's a great question. So there's a lot of varieties of holy basil or tulsi. I think there's probably about 5 varieties. This one specifically is called temperate or kapur, and this is more adapted to a colder climate. So it grows really good here in Colorado. Um, yeah, it's
So, what do you think I can grow in Austin? Can I grow something like this in Austin? It's
oh, definitely. You can
uh-huh.
grow this one for sure. If you're interested, I'd be happy to send you some seeds. Just get my info from Vasi, and it grows
Okay.
really well, and basically you top it every week and you just kind of take these flowers off, and basically what happens is it continues to kind of get like a bush, and at some point you can harvest it. It just smells so good too. It has such an
So
amazing.
can you eat the leaves
Oh yeah.
just raw?
You can eat the leaves. You can put it into like a pesto. You can cook with it. So maybe smoothies. You never had Tulsi?
Uh, I know Tulsi. I buy the Indian Tulsi tea from the stores, but
Exactly.
I never saw the real plant. So
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So that's amazing. It's really one of my most favorite plants. It's in most of my tea blends. So we'll talk about that basically, and we'll get into it. So kind of introduce myself about what I do. But yeah, I'd be happy to send you some seeds. I do fitness training. I have a website, sacredmountainfitness.com, where I talk about my training, my classes. I do classes outside, and I also have my products on my online store. And again, my intention is I really just want to help people reconnect with their body, their breath, the earth, and their own peace that's within themselves. I think a lot of people are stuck in stress without realizing it. And really, healing is simple, natural, and very powerful for your life. I kind of gave a little insight about my backstory, having Lyme's disease when I was 15 years old, and how it really changed my life, finding a whole diet. So, what is the nervous system? The nervous system is basically your body's intelligence system that is a continual communicating system. So our nervous system, having it aligned with peace and more into the parasympathetic nervous system, is really the key for healing. It's where we're going to find good rest, digestion, we're going to be able to heal. But in today's world, I think that a lot of people can be caught up in the sympathetic nervous system, which is kind of fight or flight. And before we even know it, we're in this and we're having all these things. So it's really important to have our pillars to come back to. So I'm going to be talking briefly about the silent saboteurs, or the things that we don't really know about that are affecting us every day, and then easy solutions to kind of get into that. So again, any kind of feedback I'm here for. But the nervous system itself is your body's master control system and response system. It's constantly scanning your environment for safety. And it's made up of two different things: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is your brain, your spinal cord, and then the peripheral is the nerve pathways. It goes to your organs and such. And again, there's two different states of that: sympathetic and parasympathetic. You want to aim to be in that parasympathetic nervous system. That's where you're going to find healing, rest. That's where you're going to feel your best. That's where you're going to find clarity. When we're in the sympathetic nervous system, it leads to burnout. It leads to poor digestion, anxiety, poor sleep, hormonal imbalance, right? So the other thing that's really important is this is the vagus nerve. Have any of you heard of the vagus nerve?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The vagus nerve is a main nerve. It connects the brain, the heart, the lungs, and the gut. And it's really the key for regulating stress and emotions. So we'll go into now the silent saboteurs, the things that we don't know about that may be affecting us every day. What do you think is one of the main ones, I think, that we're living with today that is great, but we also have to be aware of? It's this thing, right? It's our phones, it's our computers, right?
Yeah.
So, a couple things, we'll go through them and then kind of ways to heal that. So the phone, blue light and screens, this blue light can have an effect. Exactly. It's over dopamine. The blue lights and the screens can have a real effect on our own circadian rhythm and hormones and things of that nature. Maybe a disconnection from nature is another one, where we're inside too much in the modern world. I feel like he's outside, you guys are probably more into natural health, so you're hopefully staying connected to nature. And then breathing, shallow breathing, where we're not consciously breathing all the time and activating our nose breathing, or just, kind of shallow breathing. Dehydration, processed foods, not getting enough hydration, eating too many things that are processed. Overstimulation, which ties into the phone, right? It ties into too much going on, the notifications. There's been a lot of times where, I catch myself on the phone, I'm doing something on the computer, maybe it's work related, maybe it's joy related, and I say, wow, I'm just feeling a little too much. And what can we do to come back to our peace? And how can we return to what's real and it's always within us? And so those are some of the silent saboteurs. Do you guys have any ones you want to mention that you think could be dysregulating our nervous systems and kind of causing us to feel anxious, or did we kind of hit it on the nail?
I think the main is stress, isn't it?
Exactly. 100%.
I think certain substances, like definitely processed foods, but I noticed that sometimes actually dark chocolate can make me feel anxious sometimes.
Just like an overstimulation.
Yeah. Yeah, but going for a walk or something helps to um make it better. But I'd imagine that coffee can do that for some, like it can get people going, but for some, I imagine it can cause anxiety, especially if you have too much of it. Sugar, Phil says sugar for him.
Sugar, yeah,
Yeah.
too much sugar. I've totally felt that. Yeah, because it can kind of be overloaded and acidic. Absolutely. Great points there. So what are the things that we can do to come back to our peace, to come back to that parasympathetic nervous system, the one that's going to help us heal, to feel our best? One of the biggest things that I love to do that I don't think we're doing enough of in this modern world is grounding, earthing. It is so simple, but it is so powerful. Our ancestors did it. And, we are wearing shoes all the time now. We have rubber disconnecting us from the earth. And it's not just a woohoo thing. This earth is continually giving off a healing frequency and negative ions. These negative ions, as soon as we put direct contact on the earth, on the beach, on the earth outside, maybe your hands on the earth, on a tree, we absorb these negative ions, which then help to start to bring us back into that parasympathetic nervous system. It lowers cortisol, it helps to fight inflammation, it helps reset our circadian rhythm, it helps healing the body, because when we're holding these all the time, this is positive ions, and this is now causing too much stress over time. Now, in moderation, it's fine. That's why we use these solutions. But grounding to me is one of the most powerful things. So when I'm on my phone too much, I got my shoes off now. I walk out to my greenhouse or just walk out in my little yard, anywhere, take my shoes off or just sit on the ground. And I start to breathe. And right away, immediately almost, I start to feel better. The next thing that ties into that is the breath. The breath really is a direct connection to your nervous system, to your spirit, whatever you want to call your heart. So when we can utilize breath work, that is a huge component. And why don't we all, I teach classes and I start with 3 breaths and I end with 3 breaths. So why don't we just all, real quick, we're just going to take 3 breaths in through our nose and then slowly out of your mouth or out of your nose. Let's do 2 more. And then 1 more. Maybe hold it for a few seconds and then slowly release. And you feel better, right? You feel more grounded. So whenever you're in a situation where you're feeling over anxious, your breath is one of your biggest allies. And if we can tap into our breath, it is going to help relax you, calm you down. So grounding, breath work, and Vasi mentioned the next one, movement, right? If you're feeling over anxious and something, exactly, why don't we just go for a walk, right? I mean, we don't have to exercise and do a crazy workout, although that is great. I went to the gym today and I felt great, but just going for a simple walk, maybe stretching a little bit, getting outside, breathing. Now you got all 3 in motion. The next one, it ties into all these, is sleep. Because without good sleep, we can't feel our best. We're not able to heal. We're not able to, really do what the body is supposed to be doing with sleep. And quality sleep is determined by having a regulated nervous system. So a few things I recommend with sleep is, and I'm not perfect at it, is trying to put away your phone a half hour before bed, at least, The other thing you could do with your phone is if you go into your settings, on the phone, there is a way to put it into night mode. And so night mode will come on. You hit your brightness, then you have a night mode, and that basically shifts your phone to a more yellow light rather than the blue light. You can set it, it'll automatically do it for you every day. And so that yellow light rather than the blue light is great to kind of keep you from being hyperstimulated, because the blue light is artificially stimulating you and releasing things. So sleep, the rituals. So the screens, trying to limit that. Might sound a little crazy, might be true, might not be true, but exactly. Unplugging the Wi-Fi before bed. Unless you really need it, just unplug it at night. We don't know the long-term effect of Wi-Fi, putting all this radiation through our homes all the time. If you unplug it, it can help, I believe, totally. And then having your rituals. So I make herbal teas, having some chamomile. I got chamomile back there, lemon balm, lavender. My Rest and Restore blend has all that. So finding a nice herbal tea before bed can be a really great thing to kind of calm you down and help regulate that nervous system. And then breathing, maybe consciously doing breath work for 1 to 5 minutes. And another thing I like to do is reflect on the day, give thanks. Gratitude is a great way to come back to peace. and thank yourself. Thank who, if you believe in God or a higher power. I do believe in something higher that helps us all the time. It loves us, it's helping us. So trying to tap into that before bed. So just 5-10 minutes a day, coming back to that. And then hydration, you know, is really key to keep your whole cellular function operating well. In this climate, I got to drink a lot of water. So it's not just water too. You want to add some minerals to it. So easy things that you could do are adding lemon or lime to your water, and then a pinch of really good quality salt. And now you have your own electrolyte drink. If you want it a little sweet, maybe a little maple syrup or some honey, you don't got to buy Gatorade and all the stuff they're selling us. Just make your own electrolyte drink. When we're hydrated, our body's functioning how it should. It's cleansing, it's running like it should. You know, this is a incredible vessel. It's the best quality car, plane, whatever. So when you hydrate it, you're giving it the fuel it needs. And then taking stillness every day, just 5 to 10 minutes every day to do some meditating, to sit outside, to do some breathing. That stillness is going to help really for recalibration and clarity. So really easy things. And then you got your herbs. Like I said, the nervous system allies, the Tulsi, you got chamomile, lemon balm, things of that nature. These herbs can really help us every day to just kind of keep us not only regulated in our nervous system, boosting antioxidants, minerals, helping with digestion, all things of that nature. So I love my teas every morning. I start off 2 to 3 cups of tea, have a cup of tea at night. Actually, I made some hibiscus tea now with some mint and Tulsi. I put lime, some honey, and then made it iced because it's really hot here right now. We got fires going in Colorado and it's summertime, so we got to stay cool. Where are you at, Phil? I'm curious where Phil's at. Which, if you have water, take a little water break.
Oh, downtown.
Where?
Montreal downtown.
Oh,
I
Montreal.
mean,
Nice.
my thoughts are not ideal right now, so that's why I rather typing. But yes,
Nice.
enjoy.
Cool. Looks cool there. I like city life too. I used to live in Philly. A couple more herbs: ashwagandha, passion flower, and there's many others, but those are some ones I like to go to: ashwagandha, passion flower, chamomile, lemon balm, tulsi. Really great herbs by themselves or blended. So there are some great allies we can do.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So passion flower, and there is another passion fruit, I think they sell in stores in tincture. Are those the same things or they're different?
Passion fruit is different. Yeah, passion flower is I believe, a tropical flower, and it just helps to calm the nervous system. Mint is great. Yeah, mints are calming for sure, part of the mint family. But I think they're different. So to be honest, that's on my list. That's not one that I use all the time. I think my biggest ones are the Tulsi, which I showed you, chamomile, which I'm also growing chamomile. I love chamomile. Just a cup of chamomile by itself is beautiful. Mint, ashwagandha. I do take ashwagandha every day. It helps with energy, but it helps with stress. You can take it in a tincture, capsule.
But it's a plant, but you cannot grow it. You just use the what is in the stores, right?
With ashwagandha?
Yeah.
Ashwagandha, yeah, you can grow it. It is a little bit tricky depending where you're at. I mean, I could grow it here. From what I've heard, ashwagandha can be a little bit hard to grow and process because you're actually going for the roots. So the roots is where the medicine is at. So, you know, I think this is ginger, but let's see. But it kind of looks like that, you know, ashwagandha. It's more of it looks like that. So a tincture is a great way. They make capsules. You can have a tea with it. So, you know, a couple different ways you could use ashwagandha. I love it. I think it works great. and it definitely helps with my energy and my kind of just level out. I don't have too much stress, but I definitely can get a little bit anxious sometimes, and I feel like it helps with that. So, any question about those, what I call sacred solutions, is what it is exactly. We went over grounding, breath work, movement, exercise, proper hydration, finding stillness every day, the herbs that can help you with that, and then, of course, that all ties into good sleep. Curcumin, I think that's turmeric.
Turmeric.
Yeah, turmeric is great. I would say that turmeric is a great ally for inflammation in the body, for energy. I'm not sure if it's an adaptogenic for stress, but I think turmeric is great. You pair that with some ginger, turmeric, ginger, black pepper, they say, helps with that absorption, but turmeric is great. One thing I like to make is like a golden milk tea. So, or a golden milk where you can get coconut milk or whatever kind of milk you want, add in some turmeric, some ginger, some honey, some black pepper, and that's a really healing milk to have. And it tastes delicious, and the color is amazing too. Yeah. So just really quick, bonus layers that I wanted to go over to kind of just be aware of, is energetic boundaries in your life. Limiting what you take in that might not be the best for you. Maybe it's negative news, which we're dealing with all the time. If you're putting on the TV or even your social media, I mean, you're seeing weather, you're seeing politics, you're seeing all these things that can really hello, Alex MC. All these things that can be a little bit, that can get to us on a deeper subconscious level and affect that nervous system. So we want to be aware about what we take in, too much tech, too much negative news, and putting yourself in situations. And then connecting back to within yourself. I believe there is a power. Hi, Alex. And you have that spirit essence within you. And so when we're regulating our nervous system, when we're grounding, when we're taking care of ourselves, we're able to come back to that peace that is inherently within us that we all deserve every day. Just a couple reminders as we close it out that your nervous system healing is accessible. It's not as hard as we think. It's setting up some daily practices that can really change our life that we talked about. We are designed to heal and to thrive. I totally believe that with the earth, with the breath, with movement, with rest. And so when we initiate these things, our body is designed to do that. And we're going to come back to feeling our best. So I just invite you guys all, start with one thing today. Breathe deeply, step outside barefoot, have a cup of herbal tea in silence, maybe some nice relaxing music, just a couple things that can really help us align. And remembering the power of our words too. That's kind of a whole nother subject, but I am relaxed, I am at peace, I am healing, I am healthy, I am strong. I remind all these affirmations to my clients in our classes and in my personal training sessions because our words are so powerful, guys. And the way I grew up, I didn't always know that. And when I started to understand that, understand that, it really was a life changer for me. And I'm still learning. Every day it's a practice. Every day in life, we are practicing all this stuff.
Words are spells.
What's up?
Words are spells.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. So when we realize the power of our words, they can literally change our lives. And always speak positive about yourself, guys. We're all amazing beings. We're all worth it. We're all born and we have inherent greatness and love within us. This world is kind of crazy and chaotic at sometimes. So don't let it get to you. Remember your power, speak it into your life, and adopt these nervous system principles. Share this with somebody who may need it, that you know, the things we talked about, the grounding, the breath work, the herbs, the hydration, things of that nature. If you guys want to follow my journey, you can check me out on Facebook. I have a Facebook page with my botanicals. That's probably the best way to follow me right now. Sacred Mountain Botanicals on Facebook. I literally just started that page yesterday. I've had the business now for a few years, but I'm in the next phase of building and kind of taking it to the next level. But I'm grateful to be here. It was amazing to talk with you. Something simple, easy stuff, you know, just reminders maybe that we can all use today that can really help us. And thanks for joining us, Alex. If you know, if anybody has any questions or feedback, love to chat about it. And I'm just grateful to have this conversation with you guys.
Thank you for the invite.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
You mentioned calendula.
Yep.
It has these flowers, right? This is.
Yeah, you know, I do have some. Got a big bag here.
Oh.
Smells so good. So that's calendula. And yeah, I have it in my garden. It's so beautiful to grow it, you know, but calendula is actually, I would say it supports the nervous system, but it's just, you know, this beautiful flower. It's a yellow flower. It's part of the marigold flower.
Marigold, yeah.
It goes in my tea blend. It goes in my my Rise and Shine blend, and it's also going to be going in my summer blend. But calendula, I would say, is probably supportive of the nervous system, but really good for the gut health, good for the skin. So you can take it as a tea internally. It's going to help the liver, the skin. And then you can also put those flowers into, say, an oil, maybe olive oil or coconut oil or jojoba oil. And now you have a healing oil for the skin that's incredibly nourishing. So calendula is a great ally in that aspect.
Okay. Yeah,
Phil, did you want to chime in something?
Yes, I was just saying that it's nice because I was like looking today for some kind of hydrating, rejuvenation soap, you know, for the face, facial for men. So yeah, that's kind of good what you just said. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. 100%. The calendula, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Totally. And the hydration, you know, hydration, keeping our skin right, you know, hydrating, and then using healthy oils. Or, you know, people are into tallow. I'm starting to get into that. One thing that I love, I make a body butter with shea butter. So I really am a big fan of shea butter, coconut oil. So, you know, treating your skin and giving it the right nutrients as well is a huge thing. And then also, you know, eating the right foods, hydrating from the inside out. That's how we're going to have healthy skin, and getting out in the sun in moderation. I think the sun, you know, is healthy for us in moderation. I really do. I think it's all about diet, hydration, and lifestyle. I think that if those things are out of line and we're not in tune with those things, then the sun can be damaging because our body's not able to adapt it. You guys all seem to have really great skin though, so looks great.
Thank you.
So yeah, those are the things I wanted to go over, but any other input or questions or no? Yeah. I was looking at my notes. I close it out with a couple things to finish it, but
yeah, I just want to say that like you've given us so much great information on specific herbs that are good for mental health and good for supporting the nervous system.
yes.
If people wanted to grow herbs at home, like in pots, would you like what herbs would you recommend if anybody wanted to try that, or even just outside, you know, in a garden?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're not hard to grow, and here's one example. I have the Tulsi here, and then I got it in the ground. I got it in bigger pots. But what herbs are you drawn to? Ask yourself that first. And maybe you're drawn to a specific herb for nervous system regulation, but growing chamomile is amazing. You know, picking a couple flowers, putting that in your tea. It's not hard to grow herbs. I think that they're really hardy. Herbs are herbs are very hardy, is what I've come down to know. You might have grown basil before, regular Italian basil, but honestly, I think everyone should grow some Tulsi. You know, Tulsi is a great ally. It's just such a beautiful smell. Tulsi, rosemary is beautiful. Thyme, um, calendula, chamomile. You know, so growing herbs at home is a great way to get connected to these plants and these herbs, and having your own and being able to pick a little bit and eat it and cook with it and make some tea with it. I think that's a great question. I would highly recommend for everyone to experiment and grow some herbs. It's a little late in the season, but it's never too late, especially if you're able to keep some plants inside throughout the winter. You can go to the store and get some starts or get some seeds going. But yeah, grow some herbs and getting into wild foraging. You know, there are so many plants out there that are medicinal that we don't know about, that we're not using, that are just growing everywhere. Um, Ursuline is growing in my garden, which is a great green. I got dandelions. Um, there's a couple mints around the yard. So just kind of being more open to looking around you and questioning what's around you, because there's a lot of beautiful edible and medicinal herbs around us all the time.
There's also yellow dock. Yellow dock is like a similar to spinach, and then the seeds, it grows kind of tall with the brown seeds, and then people make
Yes.
the seeds into flour. I've never done that, but I've had the greens.
Okay. Absolutely. I've never worked with yellow dock too much. Burdock is another one. Lamb's quarter. This is Colorado, but you know, depending where you're at, you might have some real gems. I went up into the mountains yesterday, found some serviceberry, which are kind of like blueberries. So kind of just being open, looking around you. You know, with our phones, that's one of the pluses with these phones. You know, it can be used as a tool and as an ally, or it can, you know, from what I've understood, it can use us if we use it too much. So just kind of being mindful with that. But taking a picture and your phone is going to say, hey, this is that. So it's kind of cool to have that.
Yeah, there's an app called Picture This
Yep,
that will identify plants.
totally.
And there's other apps out there too. That's just the one that I have.
Yes. Yep. And even I think your pictures, like if you take a picture now, you know, the AI is built into the app, to the whole operating system software, and you hit the what is this, and it'll kind of identify it like that too. So, yeah, I encourage you guys to all just stay in tune with that. You know, Yucca. Oh, okay. Yeah. There's another app. Sweet.
Yeah, it's gonna rate your the element that you're seeing, for example, in a grocery and so on.
Oh,
Also, like pretty much everything, but funnily they don't do honey. Honey for them is like a foreigner product, and they just don't know it. They can evaluate it, they can rate it, but all the rest pretty good. Even so that's good,
nice.
and it's
And
free.
it will help to break it down to tell you whether it's clean or not. That's cool. Awesome. Yeah, so again, just going real quick, the nervous system is the body's communication center. It controls how we respond to life, stress, rest, digestion, emotions, recovery. Chronic stress, overstimulation, and disconnection can keep us in fight or flight, unable to feel that peace. And this affects everything: digestion, hormones, energy, like we all talk to. But regulation isn't a trend, it's the foundation for real lasting healing. When the nervous system feels safe, the body heals, the mind clears, and our spirit, our true essence can rise. Without nervous system regulation, all other healing efforts can be limited. So it's key that we unlock our abilities, our body's ability to thrive with that nervous system regulation. It maybe is a topic that is overlooked because it's invisible, but it touches everything. So, in today's noisy world, nervous system healing is one of the most sacred paths and most important paths that we can walk and be aware of. This is why we talked about breath work, grounding, herbs, movement, rest, stillness, not as hacks, but return to our natural, true essence. So, that's kind of what I wanted to close out. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Vasi, for holding the space. Thank you guys for showing up. Phil, Elena,
Yes.
Elena, and Alex. and spread the message. You know, get outside, ground yourself, and just realize that it's all working out too. I trust life. You got to trust life sometimes. You guys seem like you're pretty relaxed and chill, but we live in a little bit of a crazy world, but I just trust that life's always working out. We're exactly where we need to be. You're doing amazing. Things are exactly how they should be, and you're worth it to take care of yourself.